From the moment you set eyes on the 2025 Ford F-150, there's an air of expectation, the kind that suggests something more than incremental improvement. And Ford delivers. The 2025 lineup is built around power, capability, and performance refinement. Among the many engines available, it is the enhanced 3.5-liter EcoBoost V6, and especially its high-output HO variant that truly steals the show. Not because it's the loudest or the biggest, but because it strikes the sweet spot, blending raw muscle, technical sophistication, and usable performance in a way that few rivals can match. The engine lineup, positioning, and context. First, some context. Ford doesn't just give you one option with the 2025 F-150. There are 6 major powertrains. 2.7 EcoBoost V6, lighter, more efficient, decent torque. 5.0L TIVCT V8, traditional V8 feel. 3.5L EcoBoost V6, non-high output version. 3.5L PowerBoost full hybrid V6, combining gasoline and electric power. High output 3.5 EcoBoost V6, exclusively for the Raptor trim. 5.2L supercharged V8, the top performance option in the Raptor R. This is important. The standard EcoBoost version already has impressive specs. But Ford has raised the bar with the HO version, which isn't just a tweak, it's a serious engineering step up, especially in delivering performance where it counts. Off-road, in high load, in demanding terrain. Standard 3.5-liter EcoBoost. Strength and capabilities. Before elevating to the HO, the base 3.5-liter EcoBoost deserves respect. According to dealership sources and Ford's own spec sheets, the standard twin-turbocharged 3.5L EcoBoost delivers about 400 horsepower and 500 pound-feet of torque. Enables an impressive maximum towing capacity, 13,500 pounds when properly equipped. Offers payloads up to 2,440 pounds depending on the configuration. What this version does, expertly, is deliver large truck performance without immediately forcing you into super fuel bills or extreme maintenance. The turbochargers, combined with Ford's port fuel and direct injection PFDI system, help it maintain usable power across a wide rev band. Torque is available early, which matters when hauling or towing heavy loads. It's also a more balanced solution for many buyers. Work, highway, some off-road. High output 3.5L EcoBoost. What changes and why it shines. Now what about the high output version? This is where Ford moves into territory that demands respect. The HO 3.5L EcoBoost produces approximately 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet of torque. Is paired with full off-road ready components in the Raptor, suspension, cooling, drivetrain, and driving modes, including Baja mode. This makes the engine not just more powerful, but more capable under stress. Expert insights. 1. Thermal management and boost control. Producing extra power under extreme conditions, heat, high altitude, long climbs, isn't just about adding bigger turbos. Ford has improved cooling systems, intercooling, exhaust design, and engine calibration. These are critical to ensure boost pressure doesn't fade and engine durability holds, something experienced tuners and off-road drivers will instantly appreciate. 2. Torque curve and drivability. While peak numbers, HP and torque, get attention, what matters more in real life is how usable those numbers are. The HO version of the 3.5-liter EcoBoost reaches its torque earlier and sustains it well, which means quicker starts, better passing power, and more controlled responses when climbing or pulling. The twin turbos are designed to minimize lag, and the PFDI system helps maintain fuel delivery clarity, avoiding issues like knock retard, etc. Number 3. Off-road tuning and durability. The Raptor's variant isn't just about straight-line speed, it's about desert runs, rock crawling, and repeated hard usage. So the engine is matched to reinforced components, stronger cooling, revised oiling, upgraded air intake and filtration, sturdy intercooler plumbing, and likely more robust electronic calibration for safety under duress. Those elements help the high-output EcoBoost stay honest, where lesser engines might falter. The showstopper comparison, HO 3.5-liter EcoBoost versus Raptor R's V8. While the high-output 3.5-liter EcoBoost is impressive, it isn't Ford's ceiling. The 5.2L supercharged V8 in the Raptor R outguns it in raw numbers, roughly 720 horsepower and 640 feet torque. However, there's something insightful in the comparison. The V8 delivers a visceral sound, spectacular peak output, and a brand image of all out, but it comes at the cost of weight, fuel economy, and sometimes brittleness under extreme off-road or heat stress, if everything else, cooling, drivetrain, chassis, isn't built for it. The HO EcoBoost, by contrast, hits a sweet spot, nearly as potent in many scenarios, more efficient, less weight, better turbo efficiency, and more versatile. For many users, thrill seekers, off-road enthusiasts, trail runners, the HO version gives much of what you want without going full supercharged V8. It's less of a blunt instrument, more of a scalpel tuned for broad performance. Key upgrades in technology in 2025. Ford didn't just up power. There are several upgrades that amplify how the 3.5L EcoBoost, both standard and high output, performs in 2025. Port fuel and direct injection, PFDI, enables better fuel atomization, improved burn efficiency, and more stable performance under boost. This helps both power and drivability. 10-speed automatic transmission, select shift, across nearly all engines, improves how power is delivered, allowing the engine to stay in its optimal range more often. Matches with the turbo boost curves, helping reduce lag or dead spots. Driving modes and terrain tuning in Raptor trims, including Baja mode, high heat modes, etc., which allow the engine, transmission, throttle mapping, cooling, and suspension to adapt. This means the HO EcoBoost is usable across more conditions without compromise. Performance trade-offs and considerations. No engine is perfect in every situation. Expert insight also demands realism, where the HO EcoBoost might struggle or cost more and where it really shines. Fuel economy. As expected, the high-output version uses more fuel, especially under load and in off-road or high altitude. While Ford hasn't yet universally published all real-world fuel numbers for this variant, preliminary estimates, dealership-sourced, are lower miles per gallon in city off-road than the standard 3.5L version. Cost and maintenance. More aggressive boost, larger turbos, higher thermal loads, these components tend to require more care. Air filters, oil changes, cooling system monitoring, and possibly more frequent inspection replacement of turbos or intercooled parts in extreme usage. Weight and packaging. The HO version comes in the Raptor, which already has additional weight from suspension, structural reinforcements, off-road gear. That makes handling under high G-forces or tight trails a more complex engineering problem. Ford has addressed many of these, but for some buyers, the trade between added capability versus added complexity matters. Towing versus off-road versus speed. If your usage is towing heavy trailers or long highway hauls, the standard 3.5L EcoBoost or even the hybrid may make more sense. The HO shines when you want off-road performance, acceleration, and toughness in harsh terrain. Why the high-output 3.5L EcoBoost steals the show. Putting it all together, what makes this engine the star? 1. Performance density. You're getting nearly supercar-level performance for a truck without going all in on the most radical or least practical setups. 450 horsepower and 510 pound-feet is rare in this class with turbocharging and toughness. 2. Versatility. It's not just about straight-line speed. The HO version is usable every day, capable off-road, and pulls its weight when towing or hauling, within reason. It can adapt throttle mapping, modes, transmission behavior. 3. Engineering polish. Ford didn't just bolt on bigger turbochargers. Cooling, injection, drivetrain, software, all have been improved in concert. That makes the experience smoother, more reliable, and more refined than raising power and isolation would. 4. Relative efficiency. Compared to the Raptor R V8 720 horsepower monster, the HO version offers a lot of horsepower per gallon, relatively speaking, less added weight, and less complexity. That makes it appealing to those who want high performance, but not the extremes of fuel cost or maintenance. 5. Market impact. In a segment where full-size trucks are expected to be more capable, more efficient, more tech-forward, the HO 3.5L EcoBoost helps Ford stay ahead. Rivals will need to match not just horsepower, but how usable and durable these engines are under real operating conditions. Expert predictions and what to look for. Looking ahead, some of the aspects experts will be watching, and you should too, to validate whether the HO 3.5L EcoBoost earns its reputation. Long-term reliability and extreme usage, high desert, repeated high-load towing, rock crawling, etc. Turbo and cooling system wholesale durability, heat creep, turbo bearing wear, intercooler degradation, etc. Maintenance and ownership costs over time. Frequency of servicing, cost of parts, fuel cost differences versus standard EcoBoost or hybrid. Actual real-world MPG under various conditions, highway, city, off-road. Specs are promising, but real life often tells a different story. Resale value. Performance versions sometimes depreciate differently, depending on how well they hold up and how buyers perceive the trade-offs. Bringing it all together. In sum, the 2025 Ford F-150 with its new high-output 3.5L EcoBoost isn't just a numbers upgrade, it's a recalibration of what people expect from a full-sized work-play truck. It delivers serious power, advanced tech, and refined capability. It bridges the gap between this is a tool and this is a performance machine in a way that fewer trucks manage. For many buyers, off-road enthusiasts, those who want speed and toughness, those who need towing but also care about efficiency and reliability, the HO EcoBoost is the sweet spot. It steals the show because it advances the state of what a truck can do without demanding you accept all the penalties of a supercar under the hood.